Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a veteran, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about dog fighting, specifically dog fighting in the house, dogs fighting in the house. And
Yeah, there's a lot of facets to it.
yeah,
Dogs fighting with each other, dog fighting
Yeah.
with you.
yeah,
Try to attack you,
Yeah.
your own dog.
yeah,
That should be two separate.
yeah. We could maybe do a
Podcasts, maybe.
podcast on
Yeah.
that, but specifically,
Let's talk about dogs fighting with each other today.
what's your expert? I mean, your expert opinion, not opinion, but your own experience, obviously, on this
The
topic.
one page book version is if they fight, you're done.
Okay, we'll see you. Ahoy.
Well, it also always starts with when you buying dogs or getting dogs, you want to make sure that you don't set yourself up for failure, right? So, like you bringing new dog in the household, and there already are some dogs, right? So when you're buying dog, you should wisely choose the sex of the dog, as they say, gender today. You know,
Don't get Hans started on that.
yeah, don't let me. That's my pet peeve. Gender. It's a sex, male or female.
No.
Gender is from grammar, like femininum, masculinum, and neutrum.
Yeah.
Male, female, or it,
Yeah.
right? But anyway, so that's gender. But for some reason, people start saying gender because I guess sex was too dirty or something. I have no
Too
idea.
simple.
Yeah.
There's only two. There's only two.
So I had to touch on it because I'm going to be calling it sex.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. There was this guy, talk show host, and Watergate character, G. Gordon Liddy. I don't know if you remember him. And he passed away, and I like to listen to him on the radio. He had a talk show back then.
Yeah.
And he talked about this. People saying, gender and sex, and he explained it. And I say, yeah, he's right. And ever since he flipped that switch in my head, and I can't get over it.
Yeah.
So I'm like that too.
Yeah.
And he said that if you look in Oxford Dictionary, that's how it is. So I look in the Oxford Dictionary, and if you look at Oxford Dictionary, which is like older, that's true. But today, they say
They edited it.
They edited it,
Yeah.
and they said gender and sex is the same thing or something.
Which is not.
So anyway, because I'm old-fashioned guy, I'm gonna call it sex.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're buying another dog, so there's different pairs. There's basically, I guess, three pairings, right? You have a best is if you have a male and female. They almost never fight, especially if they're not spayed or neutered. Then you have two males, that's the second best. And then you have two females, which is the worst. Now, I'm sure people will say, well, I have two females and they never fight. I say, well, lucky you, right?
Yeah.
But that's a worst case scenario
Yeah.
because females, they fight to death.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty. It's hard to break them, and they're very tenacious, and they literally want to kill each other.
Yeah.
Where two males, they just want the other male go away, right? And there's different levels of fight, So if you're buying yourself a dog, to simplify it, make sure they are the opposite sex of what you already have. Now, if for some reason you have a dogs of the same sex, or the dogs decide to fight with each other, you cannot fix it. Okay? You gotta separate them. The only thing you can fix is that you are, when you train them, you establish leadership position. Okay? And so on the hierarchy ladder, it's you on the top, and then there are the dogs, and and the problem starts when you leave. Now the hierarchy needs to be rearranged, and the dogs will start to fight. So you close the door and the dog starts fighting. So if you have, that's where the crates come in picture, right? You should one dog in, one dog out, or put them in the crates. And remember, the crates are, especially the airline crates, were designed and approved by Federal Aviation Administration, so they're shit.
Yeah.
Right? So the dogs bust out of those crates. So what I do, I put a crate, one in the bedroom, one in the living room, one in the office, whatever, and I put door between the crates, right?
Actually, you mean the door?
Yeah, the actual door, let's say between office and living room. So there's a crate and door. So in case the dog busts out of the crate, cannot go or two dogs bust out of the crate.
Yeah.
They don't start fighting then while I'm not home.
Yeah.
Right? Because there would be dead dog there.
Yeah.
And it's not pretty, And so you gotta separate. You have to separate the dogs if you're not home.
Yeah.
I put one out, one in, crates, whatever. There's no loose dogs in my house. Now burglars know that. And so they're gonna come. But if you can let the dogs loose in the house, but make sure the other dogs are in the crates, that they just cannot get directly at each other. Because once you leave the house, they're going to start rearranging their hierarchy, and that leads to fight, and nobody can control the fight, and it's just not good. And they can be perfectly at peace with each other while you're there, but as soon as you leave. Another thing is, if you have like a family, so you can leave, and you are the leader of the pack, so to speak, as the dog perceives you. And then you leave. Now, let's say your wife was not leader of the dogs because either she didn't establish leadership position or whatever. The dogs just don't see her as a leader. They start fighting while she is there. So it doesn't matter. You may think, my wife is here, so it's going to be okay. No, it's not necessarily going to be okay.
Okay.
Like when I was with Debbie, I left and the dog starts fighting.
Exactly.
And I was like, driving and phone rings. I said, hey, come on back. I come back and blood on the walls, and literally, it was not pretty.
when we got our female from Hans, because we had a male, and then Hans says, he says that best would be a female. So we got a female, and then he calls the first week or something. So how's it going? He goes, his first question was, is there blood on the wall? I said, no. He goes, well, that's good. Then all good. It's all good. That's what I remember you asked that. I go, no.
Yeah, I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, no. I mean, Hans wasn't joking. He was just asking, is there blood on the wall? I'm like, no.
Okay, well then good.
Good. It's good.
You're doing okay. Well, that leads me to another thing is, right, if you spay or neuter the dogs, these sexual dimorphisms or whatever you call it, the difference between the sexes don't help you. Normally you would have male, female, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
There's no problem usually it's no problem. It's like very rarely. But if you have a spayed female or neutered male or both, then the dog's gonna lose the sexual identity.
Yeah.
and they will fight. So people think the dogs who are spayed or neutered are less likely to fight, which in some cases may be true because they become blob of it laying under a table. Because they lost all interest in life, right? But also it may actually make it worse, and often it does, because let's say your female will see the neutered male as a female, and they start fighting. So actually spaying and neutering can make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And or vice versa. Neutered male, if the bitch is spayed, may see her as a male because she has different smell, I guess, or whatever. Doesn't come in heat and all that. So that may lead to fight. Another thing is, if people have two females, for example, for a long time, for years, and they never fight, and suddenly one day something flips in their head and they'll fight like two females would fight.
And they'll never go back after that, right? Or generally they just...
Usually
once
that usually starts before they start coming in heat. I can see when my girls are that they're gonna come in heat when they start acting funky with each other.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it takes 3-4 years before that kicks in, right? And so you may be complacent and you may think, hey, they never fought.
Yeah.
Right? So just because they didn't fight for 3 or 4 years doesn't mean they're not going to fight in 5th year.
So when that sexual maturity hits, that's when things can sometimes...
I don't know what causes it, right? But maybe it's the synchronization of the heats may come together, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just giving you,
really...
I cannot explain it why it is. I just telling you it is that way.
Yeah, because you've seen it. Yeah.
And so if you have two females or males too, they will not fight for years, and suddenly one day there's bitch and heat in neighborhood half a mile away, and suddenly they start fighting. Siblings, they fight a lot. Like I have two brothers, Sarko and Gus, great as dogs, but I cannot let them be together.
Yeah.
But then I had dogs like Awesome and Sarko, and they never fought. You never know, right? And that's why when you are around, you can control it, and your presence. If you did not train dogs with cookies, did it out of drive, and you establish correct leadership positions, then they probably will not fight when you are around. But when you leave the house, they may fight.
Yeah.
And even as I said, if you have your children home or your wife home, they still may fight because you upset the hierarchy.
It's not that a human is at home; it's
who is home and who is not home.
Yeah.
And if you are in a leadership position, you leave the home, and your wife or your children are not in a leadership position, then you may have a fight. The best thing, if you want to replay it safe, if you have two dogs, just when you leave, just separate them. One in, one out, in the crates, different rooms, close the doors between them. That's my advice to you. And it may not be necessary, and the dogs may never fight. But if they do, especially if you're not at home, there got to be a dead dog or severely injured dog which may die. And this is a big deal, right? Another thing is, if the dogs, you may have dogs like two males especially, and they never fought, and once they start fighting, it never goes back. Never. So don't waste money on training dogs and stuff. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You're just wasting your money. Just separate the dogs, one in, one out. And if you really want to be safe, separate the dog, even if you are home. But it all starts with obedience, right? So when you train the dog's obedience, you do it out of drive, okay? And because you do it out of drive with the 4 quadrants or 4 pillars, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, negative punishment, and through Pavlovian conditioning, then you are establishing leadership position. And so that's your best bet to keep the dogs from fighting when you are at home. But just because you did that doesn't mean, sometimes the dogs decide to fight anyway. They may have some issue over food or toy or some stupid stuff like that. And you are gonna have a fight even so that you are in leadership position, right? So if you want to be careful, really careful, you just have only one dog out of the crate and the other one, or one out, one in, or one in the crate, one out of the crate. And also, when I'm getting to the point what to do when the dog do fight, right?
Yeah.
First of all, you see two dogs and they start acting up. They start putting head over each other's back and tails up, wagging really fast. They start giving you the sign that they're just playing dominacy, and they're gonna don't wait. Come in between them right there, yell at them.
Yeah.
And straighten it out as a leader would. Say, "Fight, stop it."
Yeah.
Right.
So the concept is in that particular instance.
So
right
don't
there,
wait for the fight to start. That's what I'm trying to say.
In obedience too, that you talk about that you don't want, if you know you have an aggressive dog towards other dogs, you don't want, you already know you cannot allow it to already go into the motion. It's, you got to control their mind, right? Like
right.
kind of, you don't want.
Yeah, you control the mind. You don't control the action.
Yeah, it's too late.
Once the action starts,
yeah.
the switch already flipped.
Yeah.
And now dog goes to fight.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that switch, there's no even pressure on that switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody knows their dog. They know when it's going to happen. I mean, you see.
Well, you can tell they act up.
Yeah.
They give you a hard look. And this is just, I'm talking about dogs, your own dogs.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about strange dogs somewhere on a sidewalk or in a park or so. Okay.
Yeah.
So personally, like if I have dogs and they're okay with each other, but suddenly they start, displaying their dominacy, their certain body language, as I said, they're putting head over the back of each other, right? Like this kind of, or just one over the other, or even stand on their back and their tail is straight up and moving really fast, you are about to see a fight, and that's where I go up and I hit something on a table, like a ruler or something, and yell at the dogs, "Fight! Stop it!" And then I'm in leadership position, and the dogs back off from each other, right? And so that's the part where if I'm in a household, I can still control it. I can control. I don't know if you can control it, but I can control it, right?
Yeah.
And there are some dogs I cannot control either. You open two doors and they go after each other like chicken after June bug, man. And even I cannot stop it. Nobody.
Yeah.
Right. And you gotta know which dogs are those, and you cannot make that mistake.
Yeah.
And it was funny. The other day I was watching a video on Facebook or on YouTube rather, and there was some girl explaining how to break a fight, right? So she had this slip leash. You know what that is? It's like a string with a little ring on the end.
Yeah.
So she says, well, you just put it on the dog and just hang the dog up and he will stop fighting. But what about the other dog?
Yeah.
So, if you are alone, this was so stupid. It just, it's just, I could just tell that she never broke a fight before.
Yeah.
Because, you have this more aggressive dog holding down or trying to kill the other dog, right? So you put the slip lead on it, or if you have a choker, you just hook up a leash to it and hang him up, and the dog cannot breathe. So you pull him off. But now the dog who was on the ground, he gets up and attacks that dog.
Yeah, that what?
Yeah. So you need two people.
Yeah.
Right? That's not the way to go, personally, I don't think, okay? Because, so you keep breaking one dog over the other, and it's pretty hard to have two German Shepherds and kind of hanging them both at the same time so they let go. And now what?
Yeah, now what? Yeah. So best is not to get to that part, basically. You try to
Well, there are
that.
different techniques.
Yeah.
So if somebody tells you, you just choked that one dog off from the fight, well, what about the other dog?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have 3 dogs.
Yeah.
Once I had a fight of 16 dogs. Yeah, I was stupid. I went in my backyard. I was living in Laveen, and I had like 19 acres. So I went in the backyard and I threw them ball and all that to 16 dogs. And usually it was pretty good, but this time they decided no.
Yeah.
Right? And they start fighting.
Yeah.
So I had now 16 dogs fighting.
Yeah.
Right? And so I got this rake and start trying to beat them up. I have this ball of 16 dogs in serious fight with each other. But what was funny about it, and I even saw the humor of the situation back then, was that as I was coming after them with that stick, they managed to avoid me while they're killing each other. So I'm chasing this ball of dogs
as they're
over
killing
my
each other.
19-acre property.
That's a video we could have sold.
Yeah, that would be a viral. You know, took me like 40 minutes to break it. Basically, what I did is I got one dog at a time. You know, hook them up to the leash, choke them off while the other dogs were fighting. Took it in the house, put it in the kennel.
Oh, you have to go home.
Then we'll go back, get another dog, until
These are powerful dogs. These are not little.
Yeah, that was probably the worst, not the worst fight because nobody got really seriously hurt, amazingly enough.
We try to figure it out.
But it was
logistically.
And I was totally exhausted, man. I remember on the end of it, I was just like on my hands and knees on the ground, just hanging my head, and I could see these silver stars running. You know, I was totally exhausted, man. I was, that was the worst fight. The best way I found how to break a dog fight, if it happens, is find a door. You know, if you don't have a door, well, tough luck, right? but usually there may be a door somewhere, right? So what you do, you grab. Okay, now there's another. Yeah, I'll say there's one more way you can break it. So I grab the dog by the tail, one of them, either one, probably the more aggressive one, and I drag it between the door, so their head is right there where the door would close, you know, right on that frame, right?
Yeah.
And I start hitting them with the door in the head.
As they're hanging out. So they're hanging,
they have this death grip at each other.
You're pulling two dogs in a way.
Well, no, there's one dog which I'm not. Yeah, I'm pulling two dogs by one tail.
One thing, yeah.
Right. So I pull them between the door, right? And then I start banging right there where their head is.
Yeah.
With the door, right there where they have the death grip on each other's lip or head or face or neck or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I start banging, and as soon as they let go, I slam the door between them.
And then they're separate.
Well, now it's one dog outside and one dog inside.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
You know, and that's good only with breeds which are not like pit bulls because they won't let go.
Yeah,
no matter what. You can kill them with that door and they won't let go.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So for that, you need a break stick. So if you have a pit bull or bully type breed, or even shepherds or whatever, you can do it with break stick. You can stick a break stick in between the mass of the bite of the other dog and corner of its mouth, and you push it in, and you don't pry, but you kind of tickle on the back of the throat with that a break stick, and they gag, and as they gag, you separate them, right?
Yeah.
But then again, the other one is going to come in, right?
Yeah.
So you really need two people.
Yeah.
And you can break pit bulls that way too, you know, with the break
stick. The gag
stick.
thing, just works. Yeah.
So if you have a pit bull, you got to carry break stick on you. You like get out of the bed and put it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
And, you know, you go in the shower, you have it right there. You know, you're taking shit, you have it with you. You just got to have it, right?
Yeah.
And the other way, which is a classic, if you have two people and two dogs fighting, you got to first instruct the person who you're going to do it with. And what you do, you each come to one dog, different dog, and you grab them by the tail and lift their rear feet off the ground. You don't pull apart because when you pull apart, they clamp on harder. So you just raise their feet off the ground. Let's say you and your wife, your dogs would start fighting.
Yeah.
So you grab your girl and she would grab the boy.
Yeah.
You know, and you lift their rear feet up about this high, about foot above the ground.
Yeah.
And you wait. And they let go.
They don't like that.
They don't like that thing, so they just let go. Against pit bull won't, right? But any sane dog will, okay? They just let go. So you lift them up and hold, right? And as soon as they let go, you separate them apart. So it's kind of L-shape, upside down L-shape or T-shaped motion, right?
Interesting.
That's a good way to do it.
But you need to
separate two dogs if you have two people.
Yeah.
But you almost always have to have two people except with the door, because I'm recluse and living alone.
Yeah.
There's no other way I can break two dogs if there's a serious fight.
Yeah.
And I don't have one for a long time, 10 years maybe or more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it happens. People say, oh, Hans's dogs fight. It happens.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah.
You know, don't be sanctimonious on me, right?
Yeah.
You know, if it never happened to you, well, I'm happy for you. You know?
Yeah.
You know, but it may happen, and if it does, you need to know how to break them. You know, and going back to the break stick, I've seen a video which was really good. There were two dogs on some construction site fighting, some stray dogs. I don't know if it was stray or whatever. And these construction workers, they come and try to break the fight. And this guy, he took a welding wire and stick it in there like a break stick and tickle, and they let go.
So he knew, obviously.
The important part is once you start breaking dogfight, you cannot stick your hands there from butt forward, butt of the dog forward. Because if you stick your hand there any more forward than their ass is, you have about 98% chance you're going to get bit by your own dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't put your hand there. So I should have said that first, but I'm saying it now. Right? Don't stick your hand there. You know, it's almost sure saying. You know, people grabbing the dogs by the collar and all that. And remember when we do protection and I want your dog to be more aggressive, what do I tell you?
To be more aggressive?
Yeah, when we do protection, stick your hand under the collar.
Yeah.
That makes dogs more aggressive. Again, don't ask me why, but that's a fact. You grab the dog by the collar, for some reason, they become much more aggressive, right? So first of all, you may get bit, and second of all, you aren't helping any.
Yeah, so it's bad,
right?
Two ways.
Right, right. So if you are really brave soul, you can, you know, hook up their choker. I'm telling you, don't stick your hand there but you can hook up choker to the leash and choke them off. But then again, you need two people doing the same thing.
Because the other dog is
Because the other dog will come right in. And if you have 3 dogs or 4 dogs or 16 dogs, actually the 16 dogs, they don't care for that dog getting loose, right? Because they were busy with each other over there. So I left him up. He let go and I dragged him in the house and while the other dogs were fighting, and then I come back. And
Did they at some number, did they get it finally or no? Did it go all the way down to, you have to separate?
It went all the way to 2 last dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were tired too.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's amazing, their stamina.
Oh, they have 10 times more stamina than even Olympic, more than Abebe Bikila.
Yeah.
You know who Abebe Bikila was?
How?
Abebe Bikila.
I don't know if I...
He was a marathon runner who won Olympics running barefoot.
Okay. Oh.
He was one of those Ethiopians, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, and he didn't make much money selling Nikes because...
No. Not barefooted. When we do the muzzle fighting, I've done a few of them, and man, they're, you know, it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's long, but it's actually not that long, but I'm already like drained, you know, maybe a minute, maybe, roughly.
Yeah, imagine my 16 dog fight was about 40 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 45, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the worst fight I ever had to break. And I broke a few fights.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the best way is the door. Like you have a kennel, you're in the kennel, dogs get loose from the kennel, they start fighting, you grab them by the tail. And if they don't have tail, like some dogs have duck tail, right? Like Rottweilers used to and all that.
Yeah.
Just grab them by the leg.
Oh, I see.
You know, or like when you're lifting them by the tail and they let go, you grab them by the rear feet and lift the feet off the ground. And they let go and then you pull them apart. You know, that's if they don't have tail.
Yeah.
But the best is the door, man. And the kennel door are pretty sturdy. You know. And you know what? I don't care if I break the door. I just don't want to have that fight. I can always buy a new door.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
just bang, bang.
Yeah.
You know? And people say, well, it's horrible. Yeah, and if I don't do it, you will have a dead dog. So, you gotta, people are saying, well, that's cruel. Yeah, okay. Life is cruel, man.
Yeah.
Dogs fighting, they're as cruel as they can get to each other. There's no more cruelty possible.
Yeah.
Me breaking it up and all that. I never hurt a dog by doing it, actually.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, don't get sanctimonious in me and telling me it never happened to you before.
You do something long enough.
I'm doing it 50-some years, man. You see few dog fights.
Yeah.
There's nothing,
Yeah.
It's just reality,
Yeah. When you had those dogs when you were...
Of course, I don't like dog fights,
Yeah. When you were living in the mountains that one winter, I mean, you had seven dogs? 7. How did that go? Like,
they didn't fight because I was in leadership position. I was with them 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would
you
pick up a branch and I would say, "Stop it."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always say the dogs have to have ability to fear you. Not that they should live in fear of you. They never need to fear you.
Yeah.
But they should have the ability to fear you.
Yeah, no, I remember that you said that.
It's really important, man.
It is. It is because it's like a concept of saying to a child, like, stop, and it doesn't mean anything. Just turn around and laugh at you. Like, hey,
flip
whatever.
your finger, right?
Yeah, no. And no, your dog should understand. That's why I wonder. That's why I ask these ask these people that teach the force-free, whatever, the FFP, all that. I'm like, how do you teach no? If you enjoyed this content so far, please subscribe to our channel. Also, Hans has a podcast channel called Dog Training for Life. Check that out so you can listen to the audio version.
Yeah, or how do you teach the dog? How do you break a dog fight?
Yeah.
That's a good one. I never asked one of those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it into my repertoire.
You're so fancy. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, if I'm gonna talk to the FPP people, okay, so if everything positive, what do you do? How do you break dog fight?
In my world, they don't fight. My dogs don't fight. That's what they're gonna say.
Yeah. Well, so I'm happy for you then.
Great.
Kiss my ass.
And with that,
with that, we're done here.
No.
I was thinking if I forgot something. I always realize I forgot something later when I'm driving home.
Well, that's why all these podcasts, they kind of connect at some level. They
overlap.
And, it's like, as Hans like to say, the conglomerate of things.
Knowledge.
Knowledge, it's many parts to it. So you talk about one thing, you end up talking about...
And you know what? I don't want people not having more than one dog because they are scared that they may fight.
Yeah.
You just got to establish leadership position. You got to manage it correctly. And you got to know what's going on.
If it happens.
Don't do something stupid and then be surprised it happened.
Yeah.
Right? That's what this podcast is about. I'm trying to give you all the understanding of the fights, where it comes from and where it goes and all that.
I don't know. We don't have to talk about it. You don't have to talk about this right now or whatever. But I remember, and you'll remember right away, but that dog, the female got the puppy. Remember? They were holding the puppy from another female.
Yeah, well, that's what that's the females that are trying to eliminate the other progeny.
Yeah, they. Yeah.
You can consider it two dogs fighting, because if you have a bitch with puppies, you cannot allow the other bitch in your house around those puppies because she will kill them.
Yeah.
You know.
I think
And there was a case, some woman called me and she said, "Oh, my dog is horrible. I held this puppy and she came and jumped, like another bitch, not the mama,
yeah.
and grabbed the puppy and killed it." I said, "You killed it because you're stupid." The female, which who are not her puppies, will try to kill the other puppies. You know, that's a good point. Yes, you know.
Maybe we can do it.
Because that's, well, I can say right now, that's the genetics, you know, always the strongest survive. And if the bitch cannot protect her own puppies, then, you know, she doesn't deserve to survive as far as Mother Nature is concerned.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why the female fights so much more tenaciously and ferociously, where males, they fight only for breeders' rights. So the dog, you know, who is losing, he says, okay, you know, and backs off, and then he's going to breed another time, where the two females, they're trying to kill each other. They're fighting for hunting territory and for breeders' rights and for whose puppies is going to survive.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why females are so much better protection dogs.
Yeah. I see this week after week at our training.
Oh, it's there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
You know, dogs are good, males are good protection dogs, but they fight different way, man, than females.
Yeah.
Females, they're just like, they get this crazy look in their face.
As Hans likes to say,
They're like kamikaze, man.
having a male dog, it's like having a
Good friend,
good buddy, good friend. And what do you say to female? Having a female?
No, a female is like having a girlfriend. Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah, it's two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, people ask me, you know, there's a big difference between having one dog and two or more dogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it 3 dogs is the one where you say it's the break point, or for getting more dogs, or
Well, you know, one dog, there's a big difference between one dog and 2 dogs, and then about around 3 or 4. There's another big difference.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I used to ride bicycle in desert, and I would have 15, 20 dogs running through the desert. You know.
You were like you were like Caesar, but you know, probably around the similar time.
And I had no fights because I was there and I was a leader, and they knew I wouldn't tolerate it, and they had no reason. See, the dogs are comfortable within the hierarchy of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, then you have these idiots who say there is no pack.
Yeah.
Well, don't let me start on that part.
Read, Hans. Do your reading.
Read. Paperback.
Yes. Read, Hans.
All right. Well, that's about it.
All right. Yeah. See, there's so much like we can.
Yeah, we can keep going for another hour, maybe.
Yeah, but this was good when Hans had this topic. I said that's an important one, I think, because people were like, what do I do? So this is
really important. Yeah, this is really important because you don't want to try to solve the problem first time when you have a fight, dog fight. You want to have it in your head and meditate on it and think about it way before it happens and have the knowledge.
Yeah. You
know, and I covered, I think, just about everything. You know, just remember that little girl. That girl says, "Oh, this is so simple to break a dog. Fine, put that slip leash on the dog. And you just lift them up and they let go."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But you gotta be careful with advising you. You know.
Yeah, and that's the
because
thing.
she's an idiot.
When you're teaching, that's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
You know, because you can give bad information.
You know, if I would do that, okay, that type of stuff with a slip leash, what I would do. Because, you know, when you have a fight, you cannot panic. You gotta be calm and collective, right?
Yeah.
Mushin no shin.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right? I gotta break a fight. No rush. You know what? I've seen firefighters when they come to the fire, and they are running like a crazy people in some Muslim country.
Yeah.
Right? They just go, and this one rolls the hose, this one does this one does that. It's just, you know, they just kept going. They have a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And that's what you gotta do here, so let's say if you have two dogs and you want to break it with a leash, tie the leash to a tree, hook up the dog to it, one of those two dogs, and then the other one choke it off, and as soon as he chokes off, you pull them apart.
Then you have something.
Then you have something. But you gotta say it to people on the YouTube video.
Yeah.
And not just say, well, you just choke him off, So, okay, you choke off the dog, and now this other dog comes and get death grip on that dog. And suddenly you say, oh, shit, I didn't know that. So now what?
Yeah, now what?
Yeah. All right.
That's it for this episode. If you're interested in purchasing instructional videos from Hans,
this would be a good one for the obedience out of drive, because that's where you establish leadership positions. It's so important.
Yeah.
It's not pretty obedience like for show.
Yeah.
A competition, I mean.
Real life.
But it enables you to establish leadership position, communication of positive and negative, so the dog listens to you in first command in any situation. This is so important.
Yeah.
And almost nobody teaches. Everything is done in drive and happy-go-lucky dogs and all that.
Yeah.
It's for nothing. You just look pretty for 5 seconds or 15, 20 seconds. But the 99.999% of the life, the dog is out of drive. So you need to be having obedience out of drive.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Sensei.
Grasshopper.
Yes, if you're looking for...
Mr. Po.
Yes. Mr. who?
Po.
Po?
Yeah, that was the guy from Kung Fu.
Oh, Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu.
Oh, Kung Fu. But sorry. But Po was a character in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, there was a master who always says grasshopper.
Oh, it's funny because Po...
Okay.
Po, the character, the panda is... okay, all right. All right,
don't unravel that one. That's okay.
All right. Yes, so if you're interested in obedience videos, I should say, from Hans.
There's actually 2 parts to it.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to the video, but that's definitely a popular one. Out of drive training, no cookies or no toys. Hans has that video, also protection video, the 4-part. It's a 4-part video series about how to build a personal protection dog. The puppy feeding raw to puppies to
and go there. We're preparing to make more videos.
Yeah,
so just go and check. If there's something new periodically, maybe you may want to buy something else.
Yeah. So alpinecaninereel.com. Visit there. Also, if you're looking for
so it's slowly, man. Alpine Canine
Reel.
The K numeral 9, right?
K numeral 9 and realistic. Not like fishing pole.
Yeah, they say, no. It's like these people, who keep saying the same thing all the time, and they ramble. I said, what did you just say?
alpinecaninereel.com.
There you go.
Okay. Hans is happy, and that's what we want. We want a happy Hans. We don't want Hans to be we want a relaxed and happy Hans.
Which is a hard
yes.
Hard target to achieve.
That's right.
But I'm always happy because I'm happy when I'm pissed. So
he's happy when he's unhappy. Actually, Hans smiles a lot on the podcast. When you come to training, this is
all fun goes away.
Where's the fun, Hans? Where is the fun, Hans? But if you're also looking for a puppy or a trained dog, Hans has these dogs from the Czech Republic. They come from the Czech Republic. So don't call Hans and say, I want to see the puppy. The puppies are in Czech Republic. So they come on an airplane. And
I used to breed, but I'm too old, man.
Yeah, not any. I mean, but.
Almost 71.
Wow. 71 is the new, what, 50? 51?
I wish.
So yeah, please subscribe. I forgot to say subscribe.
Subscribe and share.
Share, subscribe, do all these things, and I don't know. That's it for now. So we'll see.
We got monetized. How much am I getting? Like 1 cent for 1,000 hits. Soon enough, I'm gonna be buying me the Learjet and helicopter.
And a helicopter. Yeah. That's right. That's Hans's wish.
No, it's just a joke.
Just a joke.
RV is my wish.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Ahoy.